All right. Una good afternoon for all man. Good afternoon for all una. We just while we're there on Facebook, while we connect on Facebook right now, the people for ACN TV, they go to stream and directly for ACN for Ground Zero. So una good afternoon for all man. We just wait make the people then for ACN. They finish, they will let we know when they already connect with for make we talk for people then for Ground Zero or for ACN TV. So what people then for Facebook, una good afternoon for all una. I hope say all man they fine. Una come well, una come fine. We get big story today. We get big news so I get for tell una. I get big talk I get for bring and for all una. So all man una come fine. Shake no day and una cafe it day up as Mami Wally it talk. All right. People for ACN when I just let we know when una don't connect we and una know so they live so that we fit start proper because today good news over plenty. I hope say all man they fine. All our people them for Facebook. Una good afternoon for all una. All our people them for that side for ground zero. Una good evening for all una. We know say na 8:20 for Ground Zero right now. So una welcome. Una welcome all man. The one them for Facebook, una know say na new account this, and therefore a lot of people they don't know because our other account, as La Republic talk say, will be too effective. So they fear our work. And they feel say if they take our Facebook them down, then they go slow down the communication and therefore they go cut off what the impact of our work and our messaging and our inspiration for our people them for Ground Zero. And the public they try to cut off the our communication for Ground Zero so that then the fit take control for the revolution for Ground Zero. But we tell them saying a lie. So all money place there, when I come find the people them for ACN, when I just let we know when I don't connect with, so that we fit start. All man for Facebook, it plays there. Man, I see the people there for Facebook so that I just salute them before they bring me for TV because when we get for TV, we get for start proper starting. Some person send me message say the watch. All right, thank you very much. Make we start.
Susanna, when shall I see my girlfriend? Susanna, when shall I see my family? Susanna, when shall I see my mother? Susanna, oh, Susanna, oh, Susanna, oh, yes. Auntie Irish boy, Susanna, when shall I see my girlfriend? Susanna, when shall I see my family? Susanna, when shall I see my mother? Susanna, oh, Susanna, oh, Susanna, oh, yes. Auntie Irish boy, Susanna, when shall I see my girlfriend? Susanna, when shall I see my family? Susanna, when shall I see my mother? Susanna, oh, Susanna, oh, Susanna, oh, yes. Auntie Irish boy,
Una good evening for all man, my fellow Ambazonians. Una good evening for all una, for all our big papa them and our big mommy them, for all our uncle them and our auntie them, for all our neighbor them, for all our big brother them, our big sister them, for all Ambazonian picking them, for all over the world. We call una cafe, we salute una, and we talk say una place day. For all our people them for that side, for ground one, all Ambazonia they were refugees. We send our prayers for una. We think about una. This war of independence, not because of una. So una place day. All our people them, where they day for all over Ambazonians, where they don't burn their houses them, the one the way they don't destroy their business them, the one the way our family members them, where they don't lost papa, they don't lost mommy, they don't lost speaking them. Our hearts, our prayers, it day with una. For all our people them, where they suffer for the colonial prisons, for the concentration camp for La République du Cameroon, were prisoners of war. For all una place day, we keep una for our prayers. This war of independence, na for una freedom, na for una liberation. For all Ambazonian population all over the territory. Now una don't chop fire. Now una hold this war of independence by observing ghost town, by rejecting the colonial school system, by making sure they say La République du Cameroun, it live Ambazonia. They rise up for our people then. Our people they rise up. Not be enough for us make Cameroon make reforms for the colonial state. Our people they rise up now for make sure say they get the dignity where they deserve. They get the freedom where they deserve. They get their country back. For make sure say we restore, we liberate Ambazonia and we restore the sovereignty of our people them. For our people them forget a life. Now the purpose this for the fight. Now the reason this for the fight. So we understand say our people them, the one them for prison, the one them for bush, the one doing the refugees. We know say this war of independence, just like any other war of independence, it don't come with a lot of pain, it don't come with a lot of death, it don't come with a lot of destruction, because the forces of occupation, now their own way that, where they take them, for keep people them, may they remain their slaves. Before we go for the matter for today, I get two important things for talk today. I want to give una defense updates, the big actions them, where una defense forces, the Ambazonian Defense Forces, when the Ambazonian Liberation Army, now the army will liberate the country, will liberate homeland. I will give una updates of the battles and the work where they do. I want also can give una diplomatic updates, the work where the leadership for outside here it do. The work where the AGOFC leadership, the work where the office for the diplomatic office when I be in charge for Ambazonia diplomacy with the international system. I want can give una updates. Before we go for those updates, I know so wanna be very excited. First, make a bring una small news. For inside La République du Cameroon, for river where they call and say River Nkol Mvondo. For that side, for Paul Bia, he own place where he come out. For Paul Bia, for place where Paul Bia come out. The people them for that side, as they not get bridge, where they carry them to for come out from one village, for cross river, go another village. They take na canoe where they paddle land. They take na canoe. So na in that way, so 18 people them. And the 18 people them, na people them for na ekelebe them, where they don't old, they don't retire. Na retired army people them for La République du Cameroon. 18 of them with their family members for this Christmas period. They try for cross from one village for go for the other village. May they go visit family members them and spend a new year. Now then that they don't go drown. 18 people because road no day, bridge no day. canoe a kopsai. They just the paddle am. Canoe kopsai. 18 people they don't drown. As the report the talk now say 2 die body already come out, and then the other one they be totally missing. Now the first news that. The second news, so for that side for La République du Cameroon, the colonial dictator for La République du Cameroon, when a pobia, as the country not get parliament, where now the draft law. Now the colonial dictator, now every morning he woke up, he decree a law. Parliament not the way get for draft law and create parliament bills. So now where the colonial dictator for La République du Cameroon, the vampire pobia, the blood drinker. Now that he don't come up, he signed another decree today. The decree now for people them retirement age. Today, pobia don't talk say as from January 2021. Any civil servant, whether they work now for the colonial, whether they work now for the colonial state, or they work now for the occupied territory, as long as you be a civil servant for that country, if you be waiting that they call and say category A, civil servant, and category B, civil servant, your retirement age, it go be na 60 years. And then, if you be waiting that they call and say category B, category C, civil servant, and you be category D, civil servant, your retirement age, it go be na 55 years. Then, so for that side, the unasabi say because of Christmas season, the people them driving too much careless driving. Na so Guinness moto so for that side for Yaoundé and Mbalmayo for for Pobia on site for Cameroon. Big Guinness truck. We don't carry Guinness. Say make it go put Guinness. Make people they get mimbo for drinker. Now in that Guinness big truck, Guinness truck, it don't go get accident. Video not come off outside. Now so all the people them for that side, for that small villages them, they don't come for road. They carry radio them. Any man, mommy, picking woman them. Now so that they pick Guinness, that they drink for road. Oh, now so that they dance for road. Now all that for La République du Cameroon. Then so for news for La République du Cameroon. The colonial prime minister for La République du Cameroon, the one where na he be the chief colonial slave master, the slave boy, I think they call her Selina Diongute. Yes, Oga Selina Diongute, when I be the colonial prime minister for La République du Cameroon. Now in that today, he don't come out for outside. He carry his hand, put on for head. He say, hey. He say, Cameroonese. We'll be very sorry, yo. We'll be very sorry, say, a lot of the promises that we Paul Biya make them, he not keep them. A lot of all the developments we Paul Biya, he talk them, say they go do them. We'll be very sorry. Say those things that it take a very long time. Now Diongute that today, he apologize and tell the Cameroonese people them. Say that they regret now, say the government will not live up to your own expectation, and a lot of the things they want to do, they not do them, and then even the small things they're supposed to do them, the things they don't be very delayed. Some of the things and they not go even finish now up to the next 5 years. Then on the good news for that side for sport, the people them for FIFA, the president of FIFA don't come out today. They don't make big announcement. We concern. World Cup, women their own World Cup. When I know say man picking World Cup day, and then when I know say woman their own World Cup today. So for the World Cup, when I sabi say it be day before, now 24 teams they be there for the Women's World Cup them for all over the world where they play them. Now the Oga big man for FIFA, he don't talk say they go increase the teams them from 24 teams. So that they go reach now 32 teams. What did this one mean? I say the African Women World Cup teams them, they go also get maybe one more spot. They go increase the number of African teams where they go to qualify for Women World Cup That the news and that way will be getting for now. Now make we go for what story we don't bring all we for here. Fellow Ambazonians, I want to give you now defense updates. The last few days, when our defense forces, the Ambazonia Defense Forces, where the overall commander, now the supreme commander of Ambazonia Defense Forces, and the supreme commander, when I control the entire ground zero, na General Efan. The last few days, they don't get very intense battle with the colonial forces of La République du Cameroon. La République du Cameroon colonial army them now. They know now say they say now the Ambazonia Defense Forces now he remain the only force where he remain for chop fire for the liberation of Ambazonia. They don't bribe most of the other fighters them, buy most of the other fighters them. They don't sell the people there that they control most of the fighters them. They don't sell those fighters them back for La République du Cameroon. They carry some go back for DDR center them. They don't move some of their generals them as soon as the year, some of their commanders them, send them for Ghana for retirement, send someone there for Nigeria. So the colonial state, it now say that the Ambazonia Defense Forces, now he remain as the backbone, the Mboma tree, when I the whole Ambazonia War of Independence together. So now where they go now for try for bring plenty of their soldier them for go attack the major ADF camp them. Yesterday, they go attack the big ADF camp for that side for Kugwe. They go there, it not be easy. As the big man for Ambazonia Defense Forces, Oga Capo Daniel, the deputy defense chief, he can't tell the Ambazonian people them. The fight, it be there na 8 hours for music, for gang. That means say you hear for that side and then you hear for this side boom. You hear for that side pa, and then you hear for that side boom. The fight between the ADF and La République du Cameroon, where they come with plenty of their armor cars and their truck for fight the Ambazonia Defense Forces, for try for push them from the mother base. Your forces, they chop fire, they stand ground. They move La République du Cameroon from one corner to the next corner. They finally dislodge La République du Cameroon after 8 hours of La République du Cameroon. They know the big gun them. When they hear the big gun them, for the sound of the gun them where ADF get them. Now so after 8 hours, they start for pick ball the run. After 8 hours of gum, La République du Cameroon, he retreats. We hear say from the report we get, they use about 28 RPGs for launch that attack for our forces there. Fortunately for the Ambazonian people, now only one soldier if he get wound where the RPG he knocked something and then that thing now can cut it began only small wound. All the forces they return back to their basic for their base, sound and correct. All numbers. We not lost even one AK. All team come back nyang. General Efan, he woke up, he salute his soldier them. He tell them thank you for the great work, for defend that block, defend the people them, and make sure say all our strategy and our tactics for monitor La République du Cameroon and how for fight them for this time. Because they fight now in a different fight. They fight now in a fight will be based on intelligence. Not be a fight where you go just come off outside with your AK and then you go for street, you go show yourself. No, now in a fight of intelligence. La République du Cameroon now, the only thing they get from Ambazonia, they don't put plenty of their soldier there now for plain clothes. Yesterday, we get report now say they don't take a lot of their soldier them now. They put them like secondary school students. So for a lot of the villages where school still go on, they begin the way they don't come in new for start the school year. where they come out for different places them. Now Ambazonian and na some francophone, na French Cameroon picking them, where they don't learn English. A lot of them, na Cameroon military them, where they did it for gather intelligence for our communities. For gather intelligence about who be fighter, which family they get fighter for their family. Now for the gather intelligence. So when I keep one eye and when I ear them open, the war don't change. Not being at the war for go for street anyhow. You go fight. They didn't have for their plain clothes. And they the only work enough for armor car. No La République du Cameroon. Because of the Ambazonian strategy. If he wear uniform, he work inside town. Now armor car, they guide them. So now a war of intelligence. The Ambazonian Defense Forces, it don't build a superb team of intelligence since what General Ivo built the intelligence unit for Ambazonian Defense Forces. So as the war change, which would change our tactics. We need to fight La République du Cameroon anyhow. Now we determine the fight. Now we determine when they come outside, when they show their head for outside. Now we determine them. Now we control the territory. Now we determine whether they feel move. And sometimes the be way we feel live and make a move for the armor car them. Because when you launch attack for some place will be very vulnerable, you go put the population at risk. So that's why sometimes they push them until they reach to a certain place before we battle them. So they more for the defense. The ADF general, where they call it say Grandpa Devil, when I be the king of the forest, now I be the king of kings for the war. Grandpa Devil, General Sumanguru, the ADF commander for the great state of Momo. 2 days ago, he lead 3 of his team them of the special forces. He carried them from the great state of Momo for go inspect communities them for the great state of Manu. They go inspect the work where the soldier them, where ADF they line them up and put them for better place them, for control some kind road them. All right, because as we control the territory, we go for control some kind road them. Place where forces the fit be, so that these forces them for here, they fit give back up for that forces them for that side, and then they fit give back up for that forces them for that side, and then they fit link up with these other forces for this other side. So the ADF they map the territory for pin La République and restrict even the movement of their armor cars. Now where the Grandpa Devil, General Sumanguru, where all when I don't see for video them, when I don't see it. Now that the lead it forces them, they go for the great state of Manu, for go inspect the work of the forces them for see how they be ready for start for implement the stabilization, for how they be ready, how the forces they don't be ready for the new war, for the kind war way, for the kind strategy where ADF want put them for ground zero, for start for choke La République and bleed them for the blocks where they be very weak. Una sabi say Manu be don't really be liberated. Meme be don't be liberated. Fako be don't be liberated. But because of the work of the infiltrators and the spoilers and agents provocateurs, ADF now they go back for start for rebuild capacity back for all those places. And start for put special units where they fit start for implement the stabilization plan for those weak places like Manu. So the defense leadership they do great work for start for implement the stabilization for ground. Now they work that and the general they don't come back. Why they don't put all those new teams them of ADF for those strategic places? Because now block by block for fight and give backup for different block them. So that when they carry out an attack, they get the special forces where they feel move in and for protect and back up the peripheral forces them for them for become more effective. So the Ambazonian Defense Forces, they They use now a broad strategy for the national liberation. Not been for liberate one small place, and not been for capture one small place. Some come and talk say where ADF they get all these materials. But why ADF? Why we need to see the action of ADF? Not been a war for make Facebook video them for una. Now a war for liberate and degrade La République du Cameroon. Now a war for degrade Cameroon military. Now a war of intelligence for minimize Cameroon their ability for work out within Ambazonia, so that we maintain our control of the strategic places them where they already be liberated. And the goal is so Muna not begin to look like say then for 2017, where you go see fighters just come off a road, they hold their gun them, they make small noise, they make small video, they put them on the outside. That time don't pass. The war then for different phase. Now tactics, now na strategy, now na better weapons them. That's why when I need to hear all that kind of small noise them, say for here. Now if you not get better weapon, any place where La République no say better weapon they need ever pass. Any place where La République no say 5-10 AK they need ever pass. Now the war is now. So ADF it put in place for implement the stabilization plan. The Supreme Commander, General Efang, and all his general with the Lieutenant General and all their generals, they did work now for implement the strategy where they don't lay am about how for move our war of independence to the next level for stabilize ground zero. So not been as on team for make videos, for take more action. May they can't please una for Facebook. No, now for liberate the territory. Now for regain control and maintain power for ground zero. Now the places who they now. Not been for make small video where fighters will come up for street, they make small video just so that Ambazonia they be pleased. No. The lives of our forces, they be very important. Any mission with the forces that they carry out, we make sure that a well-studied, well-planned, well-calculated mission, we will know say we get 100% success for our forces them for achieve the objective, and then for all the forces them for be able to come back. So we not get the confidence for our forces. I hear a lot of noise out there about what did happen. Other some fighters that they go for DDR. Look, for this kind of war of independence and for every war of independence, those things they be very normal. For people the way they not be ready for do what it takes to liberate Ambazonia. They be only be ready now for small political expediency. When the fight reach a place where they not fit supply the forces them anymore, they not fit equip the forces them anymore. They not feel lead the forces them anymore. Obviously, those things they go die down. That's why the Ambazonia Governing Council built the ADF as the foundation and the pillar for Ambazonia War of Independence or Ambazonia Armed Struggle for the liberation of Ambazonia. So that that's something where it go last well beyond the liberation. Now the army of Ambazonia. That's what they build ADF. They build them with a long-term strategy. And that's why when they see all this other noise, when our army, they stand strong. Because they build them now on a solid foundation. Not being some quick thing for give some person power, or for make some person famous, or some make some person feel say, now you go negotiate for Ambazonia. No. They build the ADF as an army where it go withstand all the confusion, it go withstand all the infighting, no matter the infighting, no matter the propaganda, the Ambazonia Defense Forces, it be grounded on a strong foundation. And so the general and all the commanders, they work for implement the vision of the stabilization plan. I want tell Wuna and for sweet Wuna heart. Say waiting Dr. Ibadan. How they talk of PG. Wetin the leader don promise the Ambazonian people in terms of the stabilization force. Una get confidence. Una go see una stabilization force. The day for the thickest of the thickest of the thickest of the forest for Ambazonia. For inside, whether they use na all kind magic for place where the day. No man official. They be ready for launch. Una stabilization force. When I go be the force for stabilize ground zero. The leader, when the time come, the general, they do their preparation. The forces, they don't finish their training. Una go get una stabilization force. As everything where the leader don't promise the Ambazonian people, they don't deliver them. Any promise where the general, he don't promise the Ambazonian people, he don't deliver them for una. And now, na face for stabilized ground zero. So the Ambazonian Defense Forces, it build a special force, what they call and say the stabilization force. Now it go be like what you wanna be call and say Ambazonian Mobile Wing. Now a powerful force, where they like American, what they call and say American Marines. The Marines for America. Now the special forces, where they carry out the most deadly operations. Like the operation where they come out, they enter Sote inside Pakistan. Take out Osama. Yes. So, una force the camp. Una rest assured, as una don't contribute money for the forces, yes, una don't contribute, una don't make great commitment for build that stabilization force. Una force the camp, una hard go over sweet. Una hard go over sweet, especially what people them for ground zero. The day where una go see una special forces. And una go see what una don't build am. Every single noise for outside here go stop. Every propaganda, it go end. When they unveil the special forces of Ambazonia, una go know the difference between the lies and the manipulation and the emptiness and the people they don't stand for work, fight for Ambazonia. The governing council of Ambazonia, the people that they work there for their leadership, now the hardest working Ambazonians. The forces for ground, with General Efan, the leader, now the most dedicated patriotic forces. So, make una hard start for sweet now. Because as una the wait, make the reveal una special forces for una. It go be a very sweet day for the Ambazonian people then. As the leader don't promise them, una special forces now for give confidence to the Ambazonian people. Say the place will be now, place will they, now the best place where we will ever be as a people. The special forces now for stabilize ground zero, for remove anything will be remain for Ambazonia in terms of Cameroon administrative authorities. Una special forces, the big powerful, their equipment, if una just see only their uniform will make all una heart go start for sweet. And then if una see their equipments, una see their guns, and una see muscles, the training where they train them, it go give confidence for our people then. The special forces now for stabilize ground zero, for clean up all the kidnappings and ransom. Any place where kidnapping and ransom they exist, una special forces, they go come there immediately and clean up the community and stabilize the community and then give our people confidence for the liberated areas. What special forces, they feel move for Boya, straight for Boya, go find place where Okala Bilai, what are they hide now for Bafusam, the day we enter Boya, una special forces for broad daylight, they go make all the Republic of Cameroon, their army, police, and gendarme. They go piece for their trousers. They go run, leave gun, take their hand for up, so surrender. When they just see the special forces, every single La Republique, gendarme, police, now they say they go run for go jump for cross Mongo. No man will tell them. They go just enter Boya. Then when special forces we enter Boya, they go pick up all those noise makers. Go pick up all the people them. When then they be responsible for carry out the policies of genocide, the policies of killings and terrorism of Ambazonia. People them like Munja. They go just go for day. They go pick it so. They just pick it with hand. Bring it for Bongo Square. And then they put it for long pole. And then it fit the code of justice of execution. Pick Okala Bilai. Like small ant. As the chief master, when I be responsible for run the genocidal government and apartheid and colonialism, and the person when I commit the genocide and state-sponsored terrorism for Ambazonia, they go enter for Boya, pick up Okala Bilai like that. They just pick it up, just catch it for a head, carry and put him for Bongo Square, drag him for long pole, and then if he go face the code of justice immediately. All the traitors and enablers, the special forces, now for clean up anything we remain for Cameroon occupation. They go enter, special forces, we enter Kumba. They go immediately pick up the SDO, if he never run, go hide. The SDO where he mastermind the killing of Ambazonian school picking them for Kumba. For give Cameroon, La République du Cameroon, political propaganda. Pick it up, carry him, go for Kumba Stadium. Hang it. Dismantle the B camp for Mabanda, scatter the gendarmerie post, and make all them be wrong. So, we will be very confident for waiting the Ambazonian Defense Forces to move the war of our independence to the next level. Now we move now to the next level for Project Ground Zero. So we'll be a powerful people. As we don't defeat La République du Cameroon, as we get total dynamic control for our territory, now for stabilize the ground. So that all the liberated communities, where people they feel the life where they're supposed to live on, the life of freedom. And then for all the other communities then, where they still get small places, where the occupational system, it is still function there through their army, police, and gendarme. Now for them now the special forces, they go come now for clean them out, flush them out, and chase them to the gates of hell. Then, the role of the special forces, now for Project Ambazonian, for the place where the international system, now if start for see the Ambazonian people, they say, yes, these people don't defeat La République du Cameroon, they not only get a dynamic control, but now they don't mature and show themselves, so they be capable for be able for provide stability, for provide peace, and for provide security. Because once you defeat La République du Cameroon, you create a peace, security, and stability vacuum. When not only La République du Cameroon, the world will trust them for do that work for the occupied territory. Because now them be the occupied power. And therefore now them get responsibility for bring peace, security, and stability for that area. Now the Ambazonian people, they be in charge. So the special destabilization force now work that now for show the world, say Ambazonian, they don't come for a place now where now then they get total control of the territory. Now then they be in charge now for provide peace, security, and stability, and for protect their people then. So now for this stabilization force now a component for our diplomatic strategy for recognition. You must demonstrate power to the international system. You must demonstrate authority to the international system. It not be enough for say you fight La République du Cameroon. It not be enough until you show say you get power for defeat La République du Cameroon, and you get power for provide peace, security, and stability. If not be so, at the end, if you not fit project power and you show leadership, they go consider what you do as agitation. And therefore, na Cameroon, it go still find way for accommodate or create reforms. So that's why the strategy of Governing Council of Ambazonia, as Dr. Abadon lay them out, now for move the matter totally for La République their hand into the hand of the international system, and then the Ambazonian people, they get the first opportunity for their lifetime. Now the first time this for the lives of the Ambazonian people since 1961. We don't come this far. Where we and La République now equal partners now for the war. La République for one side, Ambazonia for one side. Now the two conflicting parties in this. There is no such thing on the ground. Like say, we got Paul Biaga for go talk for the people them for what they call and say Southwest. Or Paul Biaga for go talk for the people them for what they call and say Northwest. There is no such thing. The war, now a war between the people of Southern Cameroons. Now a war between the people of Ambazonia and the people of La République du Cameroon. The war, now a war for challenge La République du Cameroon, their claim over Ambazonian sovereignty. And for end their occupation. So that's why we get for project power. That's why not be as one team that know when a noise. We activists just need for come, make some noise for outside here. No. Now a system, you get for organize yourself well, you get for demonstrate power, and you get for get a structured force. A structured force. If you not create a structured force, no man will take you serious. If you create all that kind, you get 5 boys and for here, you get 10 boys and for here, you put 2 AK for here, you put 3 AK. No man will take you serious. You get for show a force. We get a structure, you get a command and control. Because if not be so, every person will be in trouble. Every person will be in trouble. Because that's what they call an agitation. That's why you need to organize. So, that's why the leadership of Governing Council of Ambazonia, it do things that based on strategy. It do not the things the way they go give the Ambazonian people them the recognition. It go do not the things the way it go make the world make it respect Ambazonia. Make it see we will be capable, will be powerful for challenge La République du Cameroon and drive them for our land. Not be not just for come out and talk say, oh, Cameroon don't do this, oh, Cameroon don't do, and so what? So what? The people of Ambazonia are not the only people that they face injustice. Until you rise up, your complaints will go amount to nothing. Until you stand your grounds, stake your claim for your land, be determined for fight for it, and tell the world, say, now your land, you go fight for it, the injustice and the occupation must end. Until you show a level of defiance, commitment, and determination through structures, through organization, where it give the people power. Where it give the people power. Not just for complain about they not do development, Cameroon not do this, Cameroon be sign union treaty. So what? All those things don't matter. If you not organize yourself and build a powerful force for challenge the status quo and therefore guarantee the world. Say you want to create a better world. You want to be a partner of progress. You want to be a partner for sustainable peace, security, and stability for the Gulf of Guinea. Cameroon is a chaotic country. It be independable. See their own small northern Cameroon, they're not fit for dependent. Since almost the last 16 years, when they fight Boko Haram, there are 3 northern provinces. They never fit for defend them, they not fit stabilize them. So in a country where the world not fit trust them. AMBAZONIAN offer an empowering alternative. An alternative where it will be at the anchor of peace, security, stability, and international trade. AMBAZONIAN the offer as something where it will be at the hope for the Gulf of Guinea. See Central Africa, wahala dede. See Congo, wahala dede. The whole region be chaotic. Cameroon now descend to the level of the dark ages. AMBAZONIAN are the hope. So while we focus for the stabilization plan, and we want to thank all AMBAZONIANs across the globe, where they trust this leadership, they trust the leadership of Governing Council of AMBAZONIAN. They see a structure, they see leadership, they see world class, they see intelligence, and they see leadership will be based now on vision and strategy, and will be based on pragmatic actions. Actions where any man, if he count on, if he depend on. So one thank all AMBAZONIANs where they don't contribute massively for the stabilization plan just for the last 2 months. For the last 2 months and maybe in a week or so, we'll launch the stabilization plan. One thank on a plenty. We now see the fruits of our work, the fruits of our commitment, the fruits of our efforts. And so far, when I don't see the fruits, I see the stability on the ground, when I don't see the stability of our forces, when I see the consistency of their battle of La République du Cameroon, and for say all the places who don't liberate them. There is no place where La République don't ever recapture them back from the ADF. All now because of now. Now when I need to see the fruits of the force, where the leader he promise the people them, and the people they don't make some contributions. We need to finish that contributions. So when I trust on that project, it go on very fine. Very soon, the general it go unveil the project for all winner, and now the team where it go give every single AMBAZONIAN. It go give you the happiness we want them. It go give you the confidence where you think it be missing. It go make you go get the trust and the commitment for this leadership. While we know say a lot of propaganda they out there, and we know say the enemy need to sleep, but every single AMBAZONIAN will be honest, where he really stand for the independence of AMBAZONIAN. We care about our people then, and where he believe na for say for we for do things, they must be based on our objectives, will be well defined. They must be based now on the outcomes, where the people don't define them. It must be based now on the aspiration, the hopes, and the dreams of the AMBAZONIAN people then. And that's how they define the roadmap. That's why every step where the Governing Council of AMBAZONIAN they take on, and they task the AMBAZONIAN Defense Forces, the National Liberation Army, for execute the plan, now for help AMBAZONIAN them, for achieve the objectives of the revolution. Not be now for make some person may become politically popular. Not be now for make some person may talk saying that me I get power from AMBAZONIAN. But now for achieve the objectives of the liberation. Now for achieve the goals of the liberation. Now for do the things and where they go give we the winning capacity on the ground and the diplomatic victories. Now the work of leadership that. So far, we do very well. For diplomacy, just after Christmas, a series of high-level meetings with the highest institutions for the world, they only take place between the Ambazonian diplomatic team of Governing Council of Ambazonia and the international partners and the international systems and the organization the way that they be responsible for bring people them together and organize anything where na go bring Cameroon and Ambazonia them together. 2 weeks ago, the leader of a war of independence, he can't tell the Ambazonian people, say, the talks would be to go on between the Governing Council of Ambazonia, the pre-talks between the Governing Council of Ambazonia and the United Nations. They be tell when I say those talks they be fail. There is a reason we can't tell una. It don't promise una. The Governing Council of Ambazonia na the vanguard for Ambazonia War of Independence. Now the leadership where the world, it don't recognize them. It say be the most effective for stand for the issues between Ambazonia and Cameroon. So it be tell now because it be important. So because now for achieve certain objectives on behalf of the Ambazonian people, then it be critical. Make the leader can't tell when I say because the leader already tell when I say it did get very high level engagements with the international system. So when those talks they reach to the place where the talks will not be moved fine because La République du Cameroon it is still drag it legs them. The leader need for can't tell now. The moment he can make that statement, oh, it shake the international system. It shake the world. The people they shake. The people they shake. Within 2 days, they call bigger talks. Would they be even big past the one way they don't get them? Just yesterday, a high-level meeting take place with the people that they control this world. I don't need for call the names. Just yesterday, big talks take place between for Ambazonia and the international system. They work for the Ambazonian people them 24/7. Not been a jama talks. They don't lay out a clear roadmap about the kind of negotiation. The negotiation need for be transparent. The negotiation need for meet international standards. The negotiation need for be credible. And the negotiation, it must define the saying about Ambazonia versus Cameroon. Not be anything about Northwest and Southwest. Now about Ambazonia versus Cameroon. And that's so don't leadership don't articulate the issues. And the international system, it don't come for accept the terms, the position for Governing Council of Ambazonia. That's why they began for tell when I say the direct talks with the United Nations we don't fail. Now the level that would they will not be for level for small NGO them. Why? Now because from day one, they lay out a vision, they lay out a liberation strategy, a liberation roadmap. And the things that we Ambazonians, they must do them. They no can tell una jama talk will be based on hope. You no can tell una jama talk where it be based now on wait and see what happens. No. They lay out a plan. We do this, that's how we go move the world. We do this, that's how we go move the world. That plan don't move the world for place for Ambazonia today. So when the leader, they can't tell the Ambazonian people about the stabilization plan. Now because now the level that we would they, all were key international partners. The countries where they work for stand for Ambazonia, they are back. Now the same thing. All the key experts, whether they provide leadership with some kind intelligence and advice, and the expert within Governing Council of Ambazonia, we need for stabilize the ground. While La République du Cameroon, they do this propaganda about regional elections, all those things are propaganda. They do their own propaganda for sure. Say they say, then they do something. Now game. So if you don't understand the game and how to play the game and win the game, then they are fault. Ignorance, they are fault. When you don't understand how system they work, not be some person in fault, say some person be ignorant. You get the right to knowledge. You get the right for study how system they work. So people they be blind, not be no man in fault. So the experts for Governing Council of Ambazonia, when they be the most smartest people, when they don't study this international system, and they don't study how to do these things, that's when the leader they tell the Ambazonian people, they be tell we say, we need for become a contender for the world for take we serious. And then for define we as one part, La République come one part. It be tell we right. It tell we for 2019. And then it tell we for the early part of 2020. Now when I don't see the result, why it be tell we say we need for become a contender and wait till we need for do and for become a contender. Now when I see how the world is defined way. Now, the stabilization. Now forgive the Ambazonian people then. The diplomatic currency, the stabilization plan, and the stabilization force. Now forgive the Ambazonian people them. The diplomatic currency for project power will be required for recognition. Forget ADF for ground as it day is not correct. We must move that power to the next phase. All the ADF soldiers them for ground, all the generals and the commander, their work now for the liberate and defend what parameters, defend those blocks who don't already liberate them. Why continually push La République come out? The stabilization force now for give confidence to the Ambazonian people and project Ambazonia to the world. Now based on strategy. Now based on what you need for do them, for give our people them what they need them. What you need for do them, for change the game, for change everything to the favor of the Ambazonian people them. We need for project power. So a lot of things that go on in the background. When I live and make the diplomacy begin to take shape. Make the leadership begin to shape how diplomacy, how negotiation will take place. All these meetings then, now for prepare grounds for an effective, credible negotiation. No person, you know, go feel sell the Ambazonian people then for this time around. That's why when the other one be come up, where they call say Northwest and Southwest, say make peace return for Northwest and Southwest. Some other people them they jump. For go repeat 1961. Of CB tell una no. Because it not be meet international standard. It not be transparent. It not be credible. Because Ubuango sell ourselves cheap than even Fonchas. Now for shape diplomacy, as the leader promised him, where it go be mandated by the United Nations. Now diplomacy way, now a negotiation where it go be mandated by the United Nations. And they go bring now different countries then. They go come on board for lead the negotiation where it go be supervised by the United Nations and the countries where they back Ambazonia. As the leader don't talk, we go for the table with a guarantor. We need to just go for table. You don't do those things like that. We not fall for Cameroon their trap. For go accept peace deal. No, what people don't want peace. What people want justice. What people they want their freedom back. What people they want reclaim their land. We need to fight, make peace return for Northwest and Southwest. Ambazonia is not Northwest and Southwest. Ambazonian and Ambazonia. And there is, for Ambazonia, there is no such thing as Northwest and Southwest. We got different states. We got the great state of Manu. We got the great state of Momo. We got the great state of Fako. We got the great state of Mezam. Ambazonia being made up of states. There is no such thing, say Northwest and Southwest. Now, La République du Cameroon, they are colonial divide. For thief or land, say na their own. Whereas no treaty of union will ever be signed. So make it not be blindsided. This leadership of the governing council of Ambazonia, na the mouthpiece, na they represent Ambazonia because now don't demonstrate competence. Now don't demonstrate to the world what to be leadership. Now don't demonstrate to the world for make the world not take we cheap. And then they take we again, they turn on like chewing gum. Carry and back for Cameroon. And then they say peace don't return. And then they make a few people the ministers. And then what people remain under occupation. The governing council of Ambazonia, for their charter, they clearly define the purpose of the creation of governing council of Ambazonia. Now for lead Ambazonian liberation to the logical conclusion for give Ambazonia back their country. They not define and say the governing council of Ambazonia now for make sure say go be the government for Ambazonian people there. Now for make sure say now it be the government. Now for make sure say Ambazonian people they see like the government. No. They define them. Say the purpose of the governing council of Ambazonia now for lead the Ambazonian people for total victory for liberation. And that's why they build the Liberation Force, the ADF. No other movement. They not define their constitution or their charter. Say the primary purpose of their existence now for the liberation of Ambazonia. Most of them, they set themselves up, they say they be government. They not talk say we want to liberate Ambazonia. They not define themselves, say, not them, they want to do the hard work for liberate Ambazonia. Go for egg of see their charter. So that's why it function that way. Because the purpose of its existence now for lead the liberation of Ambazonia. So when you show that kind of leadership, the world will respect you. And when you be consistent with your policies, with your articulation, with your style, with your position, and then you not only talk the talk. You know the only talk. But you take the difficult actions. You make difficult decisions. You make the difficult sacrifices. In terms of lives and treasure and blood and pain and sweat. Not been a talk. Na action. Any man fi blow talk. Like for La République du Cameroon, any man fi blow talk. The difference na action. The difference now when you get a vision, you create a clear vision where people they feel believe in. You create a clear roadmap where any person feel implement them, even if you're not there around. And then you give the strategy for achieve the short-term objectives, the medium-term objectives. So the layout out for we. Short-term objectives. Make the territory ungovernable. For deny Cameroon power. Short-term objectives. Increase the cost of occupation. So that you take away the incentives of occupation. Because the primary purpose of occupation now for economic benefits. So short-term objectives, you must make and say, you deny them the capacity for administer occupation and colonialism, make the territory ungovernable, and then two, you stop economic, you increase the cost of occupation. Number three, short-term objectives, you stop economic exploitation because they did it for economic benefits. They lay them out for now. So once we achieve those short-term objectives, it moves we forward. It shows we'll be serious. It shows we'll know what to do. It changed the game. It make Paul Biya go gaga. It make La République become bankrupt. They lost 90% of all their economic exploitation activities for Ambazonia. you stop CDC. The number one place where most of their money be come out. You burn down Sonara, the place where they get, I think they get most of their international how they do them, their foreign trade. Most of the money be come out to for Sonara. You take away more from them. You cripple them. You see, now the objectives and this. Once we achieve those things, we start for gain dynamic control. We'll be being a medium-term objectives. For we for start for get control. But first, we be need for degrade Cameroon their capacity. And degrade their ability for get control for Ambazonian. Once you degrade them, you need to move for the next. You make sure say they need a profit anymore. You make sure it become bad business. They invest 10 times, they get nothing. They borrow plenty money and their country now go be in debt. Where they not fit pay them. Because you don't stop them for use Ambazonian resources as how they call them? As shorty, as they call them, say as shorty. Where they use the Ambazonian resources as guarantors. So they fit pay the debt, the money back. Once you take away all those things from them, the ability for borrow money will be low. It will be almost to zero. We achieve all those things. Then we set the goal for become a contender. We set the goal for get dynamic control for ground. We achieve those medium-term goals. That's why we move now for the stabilization. As each phase, the world change its talk. Because the world is take with serious. It see what determination. It see what commitment. It see what level of organization. And it see what the build capacity. What defense capacity need to go down. Place we'll do for 2020 will be 100 times more powerful than what we start for 2016 and 17. Just 3 years for the forces will be 100 times much more powerful. We don't increase our defense capacity. Our forces, their experience, they don't become more experienced. They don't gain practical skills and confidence for the ground. Imagine with the way our forces they fight. They fight now inward war. They need to come up from ground one and then they can't fight and then they go back. They fight inside. All the top generals are still there alive. All. General F still there alive. Lieutenant Popo still there alive. The third general still there alive. All the top commanders, they still there alive. How it be possible if we not be that powerful? We'll be a powerful people. Make una not live am. Make any person put doubts for una minds as to who will be. As to what we don't build for ground zero for our people then. Mona not live am. Make la République du Cameroun their propaganda. Say they fit apply their regionalism for Ambazonian. Not be for Ambazonian. Even for la République du Cameroun, it no go work. Mark my words. That their program where they don't launch them. Even for Cameroon, they no go fit implement them. Even for their own country, it no go work. We not go see them. Just like their Grand National Dialogue, a flop. Commission of Multiculturalism and Bilingualism, a flop. So too with this one, it go flop. We not watch. Their African nation, their sports, what they want can do for Ambazonia. Not be for Ambazonia. Not be this time. For the last time, where they can do mountain race. Now because the Ambazonia Defense Forces, enough one can compete with the small forces the way Sako the claims they get them for Fako. Ambazonia Defense Forces, not one can compete with the small forces where Sako and Cristiano they talk say they get them for Fako and they go defend that block. It not one time. So ADF talks okay. When I talk say when I get forces for Fako, make you fall one hand, make you see what you feed one. ADF just watch. When I don't see them now, everything don't come to a logical conclusion. So sometimes the Ambazonian Defense Forces, it give Ambazonia them time for learn on their own. So that may not be saying that ASU can't help until if ASU not explain them, we'll get them. Because sometimes when people, you give people them the information, the knowledge, the evidence, but until they get the experience, they know get the cognitive, if you connect the dots cognitively, if it makes sense for them cognitively. So that's why a lot of things that happen for that block, especially for Fako, sometimes they be where we want to make Ambazonia the learn. Say they lie when I say they get something for ground. Say they lie when I say they fit do something. This cop with the camp, the Ambazonia Defense Forces, it don't strengthen Fako. Our forces they be powerful now. It not go happen. Not be on our watch. Not be on our watch. La République du Cameroon not host any game for Ambazonia. We go let the international community know. We go let all the countries them where they want to send their players. Not be for Ambazonia. Any man will come there, it come there for your own risk. Na a war zone. Ambazonia not ever sign anything with any country. May they can host a tournament for Ambazonia. All those things where Agbobala and Mbelamoki, they go around for deceive phobia. Say peace don't come back for Ambazonia. They go do those things with Sako and Chris Anu and Wunja. We don't resign, go join CPDM. They go only do those games now, Sako them. They no go play that game with the Ambazonia Defense Forces. They no go play that game with the Ambazonian people then. We go recapture Fako. No games, take place in Ambazonia. If the international community be interested for say those kind of things if it take place, they may call la République du Cameroon for come for a negotiation table for can sign their surrender agreement. Now only Ambazonia fee authorize any institution, whether na United Nations Development Program or na can host any tournament for Ambazonia. As long as they not consult with the Ambazonian people, they not seek the permission of the Ambazonian people, they not seek the consent of the Ambazonian people for can host a tournament for their own territory. Then they do it for their own risk. And that then go bear the responsibility for anything we get for happen. Now then go bear the consequences of anything we get for happen. Because they not be seek permission from the Ambazonian people. And a foreign country, no go carry football team them, bring them for another people their country, say one can host game. It will not happen at full side. Not be this time around. ADF don't leave them. The Ambazonia, they don't play this game with the Ambazonian people for so long. Now the leadership, it go show the Ambazonian people. Say they deserve the leadership, but they deserve them. It go act. The Ambazonia Defense Forces and all our sister forces, they go take effective actions. They go take preemptive actions. They go carry out proactive actions. And they will carry out defensive actions for defend the territorial integrity of Ambazonia and stop any international tournament until they engage the Ambazonian people, until they seek permission from the Ambazonian people, until Ambazonia be free, it be stable, and it be the Ambazonian people they get their freedom before Ambazonia they allow any such thing may take place for inside Ambazonia. No nothing of it take place inside Ambazonia on behalf of Cameroon. May they go play for Yaoundé, may they go play for Douala, may they go play for Maroua, may they go play for Garoua, may they go play for Ngaoundéré, may they go play for Douala. No be for Ambazonia. They get time. So if Paul Biya don't go borrow money, for can't show say that they still get some control from Ambazonia. They can't put small stadium them. May they go move their stadium them, carry them, go put them for Douala. May they carry them go Maroua. We go build stadium them. After the land don't be liberated, Ambazonia go build world-class stadium. Not be that small bush house where they go build for disgrace the world. All right. So, in conclusion, we're there for a very sweet place as a people. Excuse me. We're there for a very sweet place in terms of our capacity for ground. Our forces they be stronger now. La Republic with all their armor car, they never fit for dislodge one unit of the ADF for any place. With all their RPGs, with all waiting to get them, they never fit for move ADF for one place. One place. Instead, now we move them. Instead, now we determine when they even show their face for outside or not. We don't become more powerful. We don't become more stronger. Our capacity don't increase. Diplomatically, wow. Your leadership be respected. The position where they don't articulate and be welcomed. The roadmap, the advice where they give UN about how to solve this kind of problem then. Now, AGOV City give UN advice about how they don't solve this kind of problem then. About their own processes so they don't use them for this kind of problem then. And now they follow those things. They engage the international system directly for create the framework of a negotiation where it will be transparent, it will be credible, and it meet international standard. Because 1961 will repeat itself. Will be a powerful organization. Will be capable for negotiate for Ambazonia and deliver for Ambazonian people then. As our forces that lead the war for liberate homeland, so to leadership, if it also negotiate and any thing where they accept them, where it meet the aspiration, the hopes, and the dreams of the Ambazonian people then. Everything must meet the hopes, the aspirations, and the dreams of our people then. And at the position of governing council of Ambazonia. So we'll be powerful and respected for negotiate for Ambazonia. And leadership that. So right after New Year, the leader of our war of independence, he go to address the Ambazonian people then. He go to address the Ambazonian people then for lay out the roadmap for 2021. A leader go to address our people then for lay out the roadmap for 2021. Which will be, what will be our work. So we go continue for do the work for mobilization for complete the stabilization project. Because as we destabilize the ground, we go also start for implement the transition authority for ground zero. Now listen very carefully. As the general destabilize the ground, the Ambazonian people, they go start the process for put in place a transition authority on the ground for carry out the work for rebuilding Ambazonia, rebuilding our communities, for put in place the transition process for ground zero. So the Governing Council of Ambazonia, it only work on all the framework of the transition authority for ground zero. So while it work for stabilize the ground, we go also the work for implement the transition authority for ground zero. In order for Ambazonians then, for take back their land and counter any Cameroon propaganda, say they go implement their regional elections or regional waiting for Ambazonia. No, it won't happen. Lastly, the House of Chiefs and the regional assemblies, make a tell one again, any Ambazonian where you come out, you talk say you not care about what the people they don't rise up for ask for. Any Ambazonian, or as you call when I say any Anglophone where he come out for can represent CPDM, the genocidal Paul Biya party, and talk say now you one can maintain Cameroon occupation for Ambazonia. The Ambazonia Defense Forces and our sister forces, they will take you out. That place where they call and say House of Chiefs or a regional assembly, anything like that for Ambazonia will go down. Not being waiting what people they ask for. Cameroon no go dictate on the Ambazonian people them. Waiting be good for them. Paul Biya, we don't kill more than 25,000 Ambazonians. He no go climb on top the block of our people them. And he use his so-called Anglophone elites for can impose their new occupation for Ambazonia. Mu just tell you one time. Any man where they fool you and they use you for talk say they want to implement their special status when a shit for pigs them for inside Ambazonia. You be a traitor and you face na treason. There will be no such thing for Ambazonia as House of Chiefs. Imposed on the Ambazonian people then by Cameroon. There will be no such thing in Ambazonia as a regional assembly, a colonial regional assembly imposed on the Ambazonian people then. Where they impose them for the Ambazonian people then by Cameroon colonial genocidal government. Any person where you want go be now Paul Biya for stand for can't keep Ambazonia them as a geographic location of Cameroon for continue the genocide and the state-sponsored terrorism, for continues the raping of Ambazonians, the killings of Ambazonians, the destruction of Ambazonians, just so that for survive Cameroon, just so that for save Cameroon, you be a traitor. The forces of Ambazonia Defense Forces, when they protect the integrity of Ambazonia, and when they protect the sovereignty of Ambazonia, they go come after you. The House of Chiefs or regional councils or Cameroon colonial regional weti, it no go exist for Ambazonia. So 2021, the first few months, now for crush all those things. No time, no day for tolerate any person where they enable the genocide for Ambazonia, where they enable the occupation of Ambazonia, where they empower and encourage Paul Biya for use a terrorist army them, for burn what people them alive, burn what villages, chase what people them may become homeless, just so that they go make some people them may become regional witty. Just so that they go make some people, they may become a regional house of witty. Just so that make Paul Biya make some people them. Dismantle Ambazonian institutions. And then you create institutions of occupation. Carry CPDM people them. You can't choke them inside. As their own newspaper don't talk. They say all those things are thief. They say all those things are lie. Because the colonial governor now he oversee everything. The colonial appointed governor now he be in charge for oversee how the regional assemblies or house of chiefs they function. And if he not like anything, where they talk him or where they do him, he go cancel him. Well, so you go see this Ngombe them. Where Paul Biya don't use them since 1961 for keep Ambazonian people them under. Not before this generation. No. It not gonna happen again. Any man go confirm code. Because level don't change. Now generation this will chop fire. No man go govern Ambazonian people without their consent. Una hear fine. No person it go govern Ambazonian without Ambazonian people their consent. Ambazonian not be vote any person. May govern them. May legislate for them. Make it speak for them. Not be this time. Any impostor or political prostitute will deliver Paul Biya the masturbate for their face. Oh, I've been very sorry. Oh, that one be being a French will just come off my mouth. I don't mean I'm for talk because we're picking the watch. I beg. Mommy, they might be very sorry. That one be just come out of my mouth. That one na Paul Biya French. Man, move on. I'm we're picking the watch. They say PS. Now which can talk that today now? I beg. I don't move on. So, man, calm down. Man, I don't know. Any person, where you come out, you talk, say, they say, now you want to go be an agent for Paul Biya, for go do legislation, for govern the people, the under occupation. Ambazonian people no vote any person. Ambazonian people never conduct election. They never talk any person may go represent them. So when you do and so, you be a political impostor. You be thief man. You be fake man. Guna the full Paul Biya. The occupation no end. The earlier gonna rise up. The earlier the Belamokis. The earlier the Agbobalas. The earlier all these traitors. They come to the conclusion. Say without consent. You not fit govern the people then. Agbobala, you be human rights lawyer. Sorry. You say be human rights lawyer. Ambazonia, they never ever organize any election. They never give any person consent for legislate and for stand for them. So any man with the show head for outside say they vote me for a regional house of you are a thief. You be a political impostor. You be a scammer. When I scam Paul Biya, ADF go take all una out. It go take every single political impostor out. All. And at the instruction that we don't go across all the forces them for ground zero. For all the 13 states. The people, the Ambazonia will be liberated. Ambazonian people go elect their own government when the time comes. For right now for finish the work of liberation. So, we not believe for the strategy. It don't work miracles. In just 4 short years, Ambazonia don't become an international name. Ambazonia don't become, they don't know Ambazonia from every corner of the earth. Every place. They know Ambazonian. Every place, Parliament, they don't debate Ambazonian. The Russia now, they don't talk. Germany, they don't talk. So, we don't do very well. They will not do well just because, our people, they go through a rough past. We do well not because we become defiant. We do well not because we get a leadership where it provide we with a vision, it provide we with a roadmap, and then it help we for stay committed. A leadership where it help we for stay inspired, for stay committed, and for stay consistent. A leadership where it provide we with the various structures then. Defense structure, and then with the structure for outside here, where it give we the ability for leadership to speak and negotiate on behalf of Ambazonia. Not because we organize ourselves. Not because of the efforts of the collective every Monday goes down. Not because of the rejection of the colonial school system. It starts to show this collective grassroots movement and effort. And then the leadership will take all those things for articulator for the international system and make the case for Ambazonia. So we don't do extremely well. No people don't succeed as we don't succeed just for 4 years. So 2021, it will be one of the most beautiful years for take away for place where we'll stabilize ground zero, we'll start for putting the transition authority, and then what people they start for getting the taste of freedom. So while we don't do very well for such a short period of time, it be possible not because of the commitment of our people there. Despite the political intoxication and the manipulation and the lies and the confusion, you see, leadership maintain a sense of clarity. It maintain purpose. It maintain focus. Will not blink. It help forgive we the assurance as a people. Say no matter what, other people they don't go through what they go through. If they feel be free, then with this generation, with the sense we'll get them, with the capacity, the ability we'll get them, with the understanding of how the world work, and waiting what people they deserve them. Then for 4 years, if we don't come this far, imagine the momentum we create for 2021. Tomorrow, I go to talk for now. Tomorrow, I'll probably go talk for about 2 hours or maybe even 3 hours. Tomorrow, I go come clean the revolution. We go for clean the revolution. Tomorrow on New Year's Eve. So it will be a day of cleansing. For cleanse out all the lies. Cleanse out all the deception. Cleanse out all the manipulation. So that we move into 2021 with a clearer mind, a clearer purpose, a clearer focus, and more determined and committed for waiting the work and waiting to give you what you want them. So tomorrow is a day of cleansing. Tomorrow I'm going to do revolutionary cleansing. Yes. So I go tell you at the time I go be live, so that when I join we will do revolutionary cleansing tomorrow. All right. So that at the end of it, we enter 2021 where all man it get a higher level of confidence and assurance. Say as we move forward, we leave all the bad habits, we leave all those dirty things there, we put aside all the traitors and all the infiltrators and move aside and move forward as one people where they don't stand for ask for one thing, but make sure say what people they get the human dignity when they are right. For make sure say we restore the sovereignty of Ambazonia. Give our people them the ability and the capacity and the space for them for elect the people who they will represent them for inside Ambazonian parliament, and then start the work for put in place the rebuild Ambazonia, for rebuild our economy, for rebuild our homes, for rebuild our schools, for rebuild our hospitals, for all the way it go make Ambazonia we will become the shiniest example for the world. What level of development it go pass what the Prime Minister for Dubai don't do am. It go pass what Prince Abdullah don't do am for the last 10 years. It go pass. Tomorrow we'll do revolutionary cleansing. All right. So as always, I want to thank una plenty. Say when I don't take the time for joining me for today. I hope so. As always, you know, our goal now for empower our people, inspire our people, encourage our people, give our people hope. Our goal now for make sure say our people they understand what they go on, so that all man be aligned. So tomorrow when I join we for revolutionary cleansing. All right. Make all man stay fine. May God bless all now. As always, I want Court Cafe for the Supreme Commander of Ambazonian Defense Forces, General Efan. I want Court Cafe for Lieutenant General Popo. I want Court Cafe for all our generals them, including Grandpa Devo, General Sumanguru. And then for all our generals them for across Ambazonia, including General Small Pekin, General Papi. I caught you Cafe. I salute you. I salute all una. All our generals them for the great state of Manu. I salute una. All our generals them. Commander Small Pekin for the great state of Fako. Ya place they up. Alright? Commander Talk and Do. Una place they up. Una thank una plenty for the great work una don't do and for the Ambazonian people them. Now because of our fighters them. Because of our defense forces them. Now I don't bring this revolution for place we day. And so because of our defense forces them. Now I go take the revolution. He finish them and he liberate homeland. Alright? We're gonna get a good night. May God bless you as always. I send you our love and our greetings. Now good night for all now. We'll talk tomorrow. Now good night.
Hail, hail, hail the Lord of glory. We the Ambazonian pledge our loyalty. Praise the Son and Savior who granted us the freedom and led us to the heroes who bought the land with their blood. Glory to glory, we rise and never to fall. Yeah, in the nation, flowing with milk and honey. Glory, glory, glory to the Father for making you a nation and joy forevermore. Ambazonian, land of freedom, we shall live in peace in our midst, in our name, and your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God be the watchman of this nation. Ambazonian, land of freedom, we shall live in peace in our name, and your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God be the watchman of this nation. Be the watchman of this nation.